Today is dominating Docusign, and to start that, we're going to go ahead and pop up over here. And as always, if you hit the red KW, it's going to go ahead and expand all of these things out so you can see what you're clicking on. And we're going to wind up going into opportunities. Now, not long ago, we covered how to create an opportunities and what the opportunity pipeline does for you. Today, we're actually going to use opportunities as a way just to get into a file.
Okay.
So I'm going to come over here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pick this file here. Looks like this awesome person called Brian Verhey is in the file, and we're just going to pretend that this person is under contract. So needless to say, this is a dummy file that I created for teaching purposes.
Okay.
So if you click on the file to go into the details bit, you see here you got your details, your seller profile, documents, and all that good stuff.
Yes.
So, and you can see the big green cursor going around.
Yes.
Perfect. I tried to make it big and green so everybody can see. If you click on documents here, it's going to bring up your checklist file. So, let's go ahead. This is a listing checklist. So we're going to pick our checklist type, and we're going to choose residential, as that is the most common one. And these are all the required documents and everything you would need for that. Now, to access Docusign through here, we're going to go ahead and select here where it says Start a Transaction. And that's going to kick us out to Docusign. You'll see that pop up. And do you see the Docusign login screen right now?
Yes.
Perfect. So it says Docusign Rooms. And we're going to go ahead and log into here. This is where we're going to see start to see the cool stuff. So in the Docusign Rooms here, what we have going on is we have all the room here. We have a room ID, and then this is just the expected closing date that I put in the system for the dummy file. So a Docusign room is a different view of Docusign, and it's a different way to go. So what we can do here is we can actually add documents from zip forms. So if there is also a Docusign forms, you can add them right here. We don't currently have any Docusign forms. And you can also upload documents from your computer. But let's go ahead and select zip forms, and I'm going to go ahead and just link a dead transaction for the purpose of this demo. And we're going to go ahead and give that a link to this Docusign room. A fun fact is anything you create in zip forms can be linked to a Docusign room, but only one. So it will not show up if I go to add link to another Docusign room. The linked files do not show up.
Okay.
So this is now linked from zip forms, and we can come here and go to our linked transaction, which is what I did in zip forms already. And I can go ahead and hit select all to bring them all into the Docusign room. And in here, because they are a zip forms file type, we're actually going to be able to go ahead and go in and edit these documents in the Docusign room. So if you're just doing something, this is just a contract I wrote at one point. But let's just say we want to walk into this addendum here. It's going to open up. It's going to look like your zip forms addendum. And here we are, just everything. We can just go in and type on it however we need to type. And then, of course, you'd hit save up there just like in zip forms. And when you close, it's actually going to say, do you want to return to the form, or because you need to save things, or continue. And you continue, it takes you back out here. So I find that to be pretty cool.
Okay.
Any questions so far?
Nope.
Perfect. So as you select documents by this little bubble here, and this little toolbar pops up, right? And you can copy the document, you can move it, and you can actually move it into another room. So let's say you uploaded these documents into the wrong room by mistake. You can actually move them to a different active room, and you have a selection of your Docusign rooms right here that you can move them to. You can also move them into rooms for things that are pending, things that are closed, or just in your general profile. You can also email documents directly out of here, or you can combine them into one master document. You can also create a signature envelope, or just download them, archive them, take them out of an archive, or just delete them. So a lot of good tools right there. And what I like to do when I create a new file in a Docusign room is I go up here to Actions and I add a folder. And the folder name, let's go Contract Documents, right?
Okay.
So I can create this, and I have this other room here. And I can create as many, or not rooms, but different folders within the room. So let's just say non-MA. We're gonna go ahead and we'll create that too. So then we can come here on these little 3 dots here and select all of these here. And then we can go move to a folder in our current room, and I can move them to the non-mutual acceptance folder. And the reason why you want to make multiple folders is when you get back into command, it's going to better organize things. And everything always drops into room docs first. And this helps you keep the workspace clear for future documents.
Okay.
So the next feature I want to show you, any questions up till now? I know we've been kind of just basic how-tos.
No, nope.
Cool. The next feature I want to show you is probably going to be the one that you were hoping to get out of this class. So we can come here to the non-mutual acceptance and we can select them all. So all the documents here are selected, right? So let's go ahead and click on Create an Envelope. And this is going to be what we do to have our document signed. And one of the biggest time sinks in my business was clicking one and then the other back and forth. Just a sec here. And we get these documents put into this envelope here. The biggest time sink I had was going, okay, buyer 1 sign here, buyer 2 sign here, or seller 1, seller 2, whatever that is.
Yes.
Well, here we have our add recipients here looks different. We have pre-tag roles. So let's say we're representing the buyer on this one. So we can go buyer 1 and buyer 2. And if there's somebody that's already in the room, we can go ahead and select that person as the person who is that person. So we'll go ahead and we'll just select me for both of these just to keep it simple. But I hit the wrong thing. But of course, you can always select whoever you need to be, or you could select buyer agent to define, and then you can go ahead and manually type them in. So we're going to add those selected, and you see that they're in here.
Yes.
The default signing order is 1 then 2, and what that's going to do is this person signs first, and then this person signs. If you want them both to be able to sign at the same time, just have them both be matches 1. And it might not want me to do that just because it's the same person for both of them.
Oh, okay.
But let's just put someone else in here. Let's just put Tammy in here because I'm not going to send it to her. There we go. So we have 2 different people in here now, not to confuse the system. And there we go. We can let them both sign at the same time, right?
Oh, okay.
So here's the beautiful thing now. I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And it is doing its thing. And you're going to love this. So on the zip forms, contract forms, it's going to pre-put all these for you to sign, for them to sign.
Okay, yes.
As long as you use the pre-tagged role and it knows what it is filled out for you.
Love that.
So that way you don't have to fight it. It's all good to go. Now, if you upload individual addendum, like something from Associated Documents that's already a PDF, you're still going to have to manually add that, but you can just do that here, same as always.
Okay.
So that is a really cool feature, is the pre-tag roles. And that should save a ton of time. And what's going to happen is after you sign them, they're actually going to show up like this, except it will be a blue band that says need signature. And you can click on that. It's going to be under your envelopes tag here. And you can click that to sign, or you can access it there if you need to. And if you go back in documents, once they're signed, they'll be in here with a green bit. So now let's say you have a whole bunch of documents that you want to send as a single PDF. You can come through and pick out the documents that you need to pick out and use the combine tool. And the beautiful thing about this combine tool, well, these aren't compatible because they're all the ZFX forms. So let's just add something here from the computer. They all have to be the same file type. But I'm just going to add a couple real quick. I should have done this in advance, but you know. So they have to be the same file type, but then you can come here on these and click on the two bubbles and come up here and combine them. And then you just select the ones that are compatible and name the document to combine. So looks like they have a whole lot not combinable just because of the way the files worked out, but that's something you can definitely do.
Okay.
Another way to get into your toolbar up here is when you have selected files, you right click on them and they have all your tools right here as well. So it's a little bit faster. And we remove those from the room. So that is the signature side of things, which is a pretty cool side. Any questions on that so far?
No.
Perfect. So I'm going to give you a whole lot on Docusign today, and I'm moving fast because it's just you and there's no conversation. So woohoo! So if we come out to the dashboard here, we can see our Docusign dashboard up over here. And you can see that this is all the signing activity I've had, and I can access things there. And these are the recently viewed Docusign rooms I have. So, you know, I have a few deals going on. So we got those going on. And then new document access actually keeps a history of who has accessed what document. The who is more important on Teams, but it's nice to have because you can also add people to your Docusign.
Okay.
So another great feature is if you come up here and you click your initials or picture, if you have that set up, and you come here to preferences, you'll be able to get in here into your profile. And it does want me to update my profile a little bit. I might do that later. But for now, we want not the contact information, sorry. The inbox details. And so this here is my inbound email to Docusign. And I just did brian.verhey@mail.docusign.net. You currently have a default one in there that you can do. And then also, you can enable a fax number so people can fax documents to your Docusign if they're, you know, very old school.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, right? There's not a lot of fax numbers left.
No.
So if we go ahead and we save these changes, which I guess I wouldn't have to, and go back to our Docusign rooms here, and we'll hop back into the room that I was just in, which is the one for training. We can go back in here, and this is the detail for this particular room that you can add info in here if you want to. You don't really have to, because if you keep command up to date, it'll just feed this way. But we go into documents here, and this is a big one. So we have a room document. So let's say the contract is closing, and I have a whole bunch of emails I need to send in here to keep for my contract communications, right?
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to add a folder. And it's going to say contract communications. And I'm going to create that, and it's going to go right there. And the room documents are empty, which is important for what I'm doing. I have the room ID number right up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to email into Docusign, I'm going to copy that room ID, and I'm going to come to my email, which I have to log into. Just a sec here. And let's just say that I want to go ahead. Oh, that's a program I don't even use anymore. I want to go ahead and email the balance of, see, this only has 2 in it, of this folder of communications to my DocuSign. I'm going to go into that folder and select all. And then I'm going to come to the 3 drop-down bits here and forward it as an attachment, right?
Okay.
It's going to say some can't attach, and you're going to want to go through and see what those are. But this is all my emails that go to that file. And I'm going to paste that room number right there. And I'm also going to give it a space called hashtag PDF. And what that is going to do is it's going to send all this stuff to the DocuSign room that matches this number as a PDF. So I have it for my contract communications. And then I just go in here, put in my DocuSign email, and hit send.
Oh, wow.
So that is going to wind up down here. Now it's going to take a couple minutes because that's a lot of files that's being moved. But in the meantime, if we pop over here where it says inbox, just for good measure, if you have a mistake at what that number is for the room number, or don't include it for some reason, this is where everything is going to go by default.
Oh, okay.
So if you accidentally email it to the no room or the wrong, mess up the room number, it doesn't match, it'll come in here, and using the same method as before, you can move it into the appropriate room.
Okay.
So otherwise, we just hop back in here to where we were. And let's just see if we got it yet. It, like I said, takes about 2 minutes. And here it is. All these documents just came in. And if you have emails, it will come in as a PDF as well. And yeah, it's a little small there on that one, but then they're all emailed here, so we all have them in the room. Then we just simply come here and go select all. We go to combine them. The images will not combine with the others, unfortunately. And we just call them contract communications, or however you want to name them. And it's going to create another folder called contract communications. Right down here in the room. So where is it? Right here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and select them all. And I'm going to move these to a folder in my current room. And it is going to be contract communication there. And now it's all here if we ever need it in the future. And you have a combined file that is ready to rock and roll. Right here is the combined file for you to add for your compliance communication in command.
Okay. And then, so like you say, that is just for that one particular listing or sale.
Yes.
Okay.
So my workflow is when I get an email in, and you'll notice my inbox is impressively clean for someone who's in production. Here's why. This is for this compliance saying it's, now I normally delete this one because whatever. But I can just go and drag this to the appropriate folder here, and it's in there, it's organized, I know where it is, and it keeps my inbox clean. But anyway, then I have everything for my transactions right here, and I have them saved both in my email and in my Docusign.
Okay, I didn't know you could do that. Okay.
So now we have empty room docs. Let's say, well, any questions so far? Because I just showed you some pretty cool features.
Yeah, as I start to play with it, then I'll probably have questions.
Gotcha. Well, let's move on to probably the most commonly used one is for compliance. So we're gonna just go ahead and we're gonna add a contract from the computer, and I'm just gonna choose a random purchase and sale agreement here. And basically, we get this contract that comes in, and it is a multi-page document from the other agent that we need to piece out into command. And I've had people even going as far as to use the print as PDF and do it that way, correct?
Okay.
Well, for this one here, we go and we right click and we hit split. And it brings us into the splitter. And you see right now we just have the 6-page purchase sale agreement. But let's pretend we have multiple documents, right? So we come up here and we go PSA, and I'm just gonna call it demo so I never confuse myself. And let's pretend that that's a 2-pager. So go 1, 2. Then let's go, oh, you know what? We have this other document, but it's scanned out of order. So that's actually going to be 3, 6, 4. Well, we can do that, and then whatever combination we need, and we can literally, and you see it shows that there, and then we can literally click on or type in the numbers we need. Once we're done, we go ahead and save that, and that's going to split it up for us right here in the room documents. And if you look at the other documents, once it's done reloading from that, you'll actually see that it put it in the order page 3, page 6, and then page 4.
Okay.
And so that's super useful for when there's a scanning error when they email it over to you. You know, you don't have to reprint it, reshuffle, rescan.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's coming up just there. It's coming up. I was too impatient.
Yeah.
So you see page 3, page 6, page 4.
Okay.
So that is what we're looking at in the room documents. And now we go back into our command and we're like, oh man, we have to go and click add file and manually add each one from Docusign, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how that looks is you click there, you click Docusign, and then you choose what you want. So here's the root folder, the room, and here's our different folders, as you can see. You know, I have them all organized that way.
Okay.
So there's contract communication, here's non-mutual acceptance, here's the root folder, which is the base room. We could go through for each one, click add file and do that. Or you can come here that says attach multiple files, select DocuSign, and then just go down the list as you go. So here's the, you know, just whatever fits. And when you do that and you hit attach, it's going to just attach them wherever they go over here on the right. It'll do them all at once.
Okay.
So yeah, that is how you can really dominate DocuSign and a great use of that tool in the wild. There's all sorts of little stuff you can always add, but that is, you know, the basic uses.
Okay.
So any questions at this point?
Not at this point.
What ahas do you have to take away from this?
Well, I like just the last thing you just showed where you can just click and say which documents you want added, and then it just adds them.
For sure. That's a really great one. And
yeah. The communication for keeping track of your communication. Yeah, I like that.
Awesome. And then have you written contracts yet?
Have I written? What do you mean?
I'm trying to make sure I know which Kathy this is because I teach about 4 of them.
Oh, this is Myers. Yes, who's been doing
Kathy
this.
Myers. Okay, so yeah, you write a lot of contracts.
Well, I could write a lot more. More is best, right?
More is best.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because there's like a couple other Kathys and you don't have your camera on. I was like, I think it's Kathy Myers.
Well, it would scare you. So yeah, I'm keeping it off. I don't know. I got all distracted today. So kind of forgetting to put my commission document demand into the command. And I was like, oh crap, that's closing, or one didn't appraise, or yeah, I got to get that figured out. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, was this a helpful class for you?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Perfect. Each command class is designed to build on the other one, and then we go back and repeat the cycle.
Okay.
So definitely, you know, if you keep coming, you're gonna see the building of how everything feeds into everything, because command is super powerful.
Yes, I think, yeah, and like you say, there's so many things to it that you don't even realize that can make your life easier.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, so that is what I had to cover. It goes quick when there's only 2 of us and not a abundance of questions.